This is Nutrition 1 by Tom Gowd. There are two types of nutrients. These are known as macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are important because they allow us to grow. A lot of these are needed within our diets because they are often used as an energy source, which supplies the body with energy, whilst micronutrients are important because they allow us to grow and be healthy. There are three types of macronutrients. These are carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Carbohydrates are important because they are the first supply of energy within the body. Carbohydrates take up around 50 to 60% of a healthy person's diet. This is important because they help burn energy quickly, because they have fewer bonds than other type of macronutrients such as fat. The two types of carbohydrates are simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are slow burning, therefore they take longer to burn off as it's high in starch. This is good for long distance athletes because it allows them, it fuels them to last the whole race. However, complex carbohydrates are not as useful for anaerobic athletes such as weightlifters because they need a quick fix of energy. Complex carbohydrates can be found in foods such as pasta or rice. On the other hand, simple carbohydrates are more effective for anaerobic athletes. This is because they're higher in sugar, for example, jam or fizzy drinks. These will not last as long as the time as complex carbohydrates through exercise, but they give a quick burst of energy, which allows muscles to contract with more force. If carbohydrates are not burned off during exercise, they will be stored as fat. Proteins are important for in our diet because they help build and repair muscle. This is good because it allows people or athletes to recover from exercise quicker. About 15% of a person's intake should be protein. 1 gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories, and the body will not use this energy source unless it goes into survival mode, where muscle will be broken down to provide energy for the body's vital organs. There are two types of amino acids. These are essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. There are 8 essential amino acids, and these cannot be made inside the body, therefore they must be consumed. These can come from foods such as eggs or red meat. There are 12 non-essential amino acids, and these can be made within the body, therefore they do not have to be consumed. The two types of protein are complete protein, and these contain all 20 amino acids within a food source, for example chicken, and are incomplete proteins which does not contain all 20 within the food source, and these could be examples like vegetables such as like broccoli. There are 3 types of fats. These are saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, and monounsaturated fats. Saturated fats comes from animals and are in the form of like butter and ice cream. These are bad fats as they increase the levels of cholesterol, whilst unsaturated fats are needed in the body to function correctly, and these ones are found within vegetables as well as fish. Monounsaturated fats are also fats that the body needs to function. These fats, as well as polyunsaturated fats, can be consumed more than saturated fats, or should be consumed as more than. About 30 to 35% of our diet should be fats. Fats has many roles, such as including energy, the production of energy, thermoregulation, as well as structural materials for the cells, and protection. Right, so now it's vitamins and minerals, which are the micronutrients. Vitamins there's two types of these. These are fat soluble and water soluble. So vitamin A, you should have about 0.7 milligrams. These are fat solubles. Their function is to ensure that the good sight as well as healthy skin, and these can come from dark green vegetables as well as carrots. Whilst vitamin B, you should have about 40 milligrams of these. This is a water soluble, which function is to help with the energy production, and these can be found within meats as well as milk and vegetables. Vitamin C, you should have about 1 milligram of these, and this is another water soluble, which its function is to part of the immune system, so help with that. And these can be found within fruits, for example, an orange. Vitamin D is another fat soluble, and this is important because in the diet because it helps with the strength of bones as well as assists muscles with their contractions. These can be found within egg yolks as well as liver. Vitamin E, you should have about 4 milligrams of this. This is a fat soluble which is used to protect cell walls, and these can be found within nuts as well as seeds. Well, and the last vitamin is vitamin K. You should have about 0.001 milligram of these. This is a fat soluble, and this assists in blood clotting. This can be found within milk as well as cabbage. There are two types of minerals. These are macro minerals and trace minerals. Zinc, you should have between 12 to 20 milligrams of this. This is a trace mineral, and this assists in carbon dioxide transport, and this can be found within cheese. Whilst calcium, you need about 1,200 milligrams of this, and this is a macronutrient. This is needed to help muscle contractions and bone formation, and this can be found within milk. Potassium is another macronutrient, and you need about 1 gram of this. This helps with the nerve impulse and can be found within bananas. Sodium, you need between 5 to 10 grams of this, and this is a macronutrient, and its function is to help with water balance, and this can be found within table salt. Magnesium, you need about 5 milligrams of this. This is a trace mineral, and its function is to help with the reproductive functions, and this can be found within peanuts and kidneys. And iron, you need about 18 milligrams of this. This is a trace mineral, and it's to help the formation of hemoglobin, and this can be found within livers and eggs. Fibre is a complex carbohydrate, and it's known as non-starch polysaccharide. A healthy adult requires about 18 grams of fibre a day, and there are two types of fibres, soluble and insoluble. Soluble fibres dissolve within water. This is important because they prevent the uptake of nutrients as well as control blood glucose level and lowers cholesterol. Soluble fibres are found within products such as fruit, veg, oats. Insoluble fibres do not break down. These are important because they help prevent bowel disorders such as bowel cancer. These can be found within foods such as pastas and rice. Water is important to us because they prevent us from dehydrating. About 50 to 60% of a human's weight is water. Therefore, about 6 to 8 cups of water is needed a day. This is important because water is always being used within the body. The water uses the body uses water within 3 different ways. These are to transport nutrients, to regulate the temperature of the body, and to help the passage of food throughout the digestive system. The body transports nutrients through the blood, therefore it can travel around the body quickly towards the organs and muscles. This is important because it helps prevent infection as well as keep everything functioning correctly. Without water within the blood would be very thick, therefore the nutrients would take a lot longer to travel around the body. Water helps keep the body's temperature around 37.5 degrees Celsius. This is important because it allows us the organs to function correctly. Once the body starts to heat up, water will rise to the skin and evaporate off. This takes the heat with it and the water will be in the form of steam, cooling the body down and therefore preventing the body from overheating. However, this could lead to a person dehydrating if the person does not drink enough water afterwards. There are 2 types of digestion. This is chemical digestion and mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion is where we chew food up to break it down, whilst chemical digestion is where digestive juices break down the food. Marathon runners need carbohydrates. They need about 70% of their diet needs to be carbohydrates, and these need to be complex carbohydrates. These are the number 1 fuel of the marathon runner, and it's needed to provide energy during the race. Whilst a weightlifter needs about 55% of their diet to be carbohydrates, and a lot of these will be simple carbohydrates. These are needed to provide explosive power and explosive movements so that athlete can lift heavier weights. Whilst a marathon runner needs about 15% of his diet needs to be protein. They don't want too much because it will increase their body mass and therefore slowing them down, but they need a bit of protein so that they can recover from their long runs and rebuild the muscles that have been teared. Whilst weightlifting needs about 20% of protein within their diet. It needs to be high to rebuild and recover after lifting heavy weights. Also, it will increase their mass, therefore they'll have greater power, which will increase their performance. About 15% of a marathon runner's diet should be fats. This isn't a lot, however, it is needed to help the body with thermoregulation and protect vital organs, whilst weightlifter needs about 20% of their diet to be fats. This is 5% more than a marathon runner, and this is needed because they want to increase their weight so they can lift heavier weights and they'll have more power. As well as this, it also helps with the thermoregulation and protect the vital organs. A marathon runner needs a lot of vitamin E within their diet. This is good because it keeps their nerves working effectively. Also, vitamin K is good for the marathon runner because it helps with the blood clotting. Therefore, they'll be able to keep going for longer. Whilst a weightlifter needs vitamin B, this is good because it ensures they have energy levels and also helps prevent cramp. Also, vitamin D is good because it ensures the bones are strong. Zinc is needed for a marathon runner. This is to assist carbon dioxide transport. Also, sodium is used, will be needed for marathon runners. This is also good because it helps with the